My sister ruined my engagement because she couldn't stand me being happy. So I'm 31 male, and I'm pretty sure my family is toxic. I'm the middle child, and my older sister, Bethany, is the golden child. Everything revolves around her. My younger sister is still pretty young, so she flies under the radar. Me, I'm the peacekeeper, the one who cleans up Bethany's messes and makes sure everyone gets along, even if it means I get walked all over. I was engaged to the most amazing woman, Olivia. Things were perfect. Until Bethany decided they weren't. Now, thanks to her, everything is falling apart. I'm starting to think my whole life has been a lie. Should I just cut them all off? My engagement party. It should have been one of the happiest nights of my life. I was surrounded by friends, family, Olivia's family. Everyone was so happy for us. Olivia looked absolutely radiant. I remember thinking, this is it, this is my future and it's beautiful. Then Bethany made a toast. It started innocently enough, all smiles and congratulations. But then the shift, the subtle dig disguised as a joke. Olivia, you're so lucky to have snagged Ethan. He's always been such a sweet guy. You know, the kind of guy who's always there for everyone, always willing to put others first. Someone deserves that, right? She raised her glass, this sickly sweet smile plastered on her face. Everyone laughed. I laughed too at first because what else could I do, but my stomach started churning. Something felt off. Later that night, after everyone had left, Olivia brought it up. That was weird, right? Your sister's toast. I brushed it off, told her Bethany was just being Bethany. But Olivia's a smart woman. She saw right through me. Ethan, she said, her voice soft. It sounded like she was saying I was settling for you. And that's when it hit me. The subtle inflection in Bethany's voice, the knowing glances she exchanged with my mom during the toast, it was intentional. She was intentionally undermining my happiness. My stomach dropped. I felt physically ill. I confronted Bethany the next day. I'll never forget the blank stare she gave me, the way she just shrugged and said, "Oh, come on, Ethan, don't be so sensitive, I was just joking." Joking, she called it a joke. My mom, of course, sided with Bethany. "Ethan, you're overreacting," she said, patting my arm condescendingly. "Bethany would never intentionally hurt you, you know how she is." How she is. That's the Miller family motto, apparently, an excuse for everything. An excuse for Bethany's constant need to be the center of attention, an excuse for her manipulative behavior, an excuse for the way she systematically dismantles anyone else's happiness. And I, the idiot peacekeeper, had been enabling it my entire life. In that moment, looking at their faces, I felt like I was drowning. Like I had been betrayed by the people who were supposed to love me the most. And the worst part. I knew deep down this was just the beginning. My hands are shaking as I type this. I tried to talk to them again. It was a disaster. I sat them down, my parents and Bethany, and I tried to explain how her joke wasn't a joke. I told her, "Bethany, what you said at the party, it hurt Olivia. It hurt me, you need to apologize." Bethany rolled her eyes, like I was some annoying gnat she couldn't swat away. "Oh my God, Ethan, get over it. It was a joke, you're being ridiculous." My mom chimed in, "Ethan, honey, Bethany didn't mean anything by it. You're just stressed about the wedding." Stressed, I wanted to scream. "No, Mom," I said, my voice starting to rise. "This isn't about the wedding. This is about Bethany constantly undermining me. It's about her needing to be the center of attention all the time." Bethany scoffed. "Oh, here we go. Ethan's the victim again. Victim. My chest tightened. I could barely breathe. "I'm not the victim here, Bethany. You're the one whom my dad cut me off." "Ethan, that's enough. Don't talk to your sister that way." He didn't even look at me. He just stared at the TV like this whole conversation was an inconvenience. That's when it hit me. Really hit me. This wasn't normal. This wasn't just a sibling squabble. This was a twisted, fucked up dynamic that I had been trapped in my entire life. They were never going to see my side. They were never going to hold Bethany accountable, because in their eyes, Bethany could do no wrong. And I was just the sensitive middle child, overreacting as usual. I stood up, my legs trembling. "I can't do this," I choked out. "I just can't." And I walked out. I left them there in their little bubble of denial. I don't know what to do. I feel so lost. So alone. Is this my life now? Constantly fighting for scraps of validation from a family that will never truly see me. I'm so tired. A week later and things have gone from bad to nuclear. I thought I'd hit rock bottom after that disastrous conversation with my family, but I was wrong. So wrong. They've escalated things in a way I never could have imagined. They've brought in the reinforcements. My Aunt Carol, my mom's sister, called me yesterday. Aunt Carol, who I haven't spoken to in years, suddenly felt the need to check in on me. Ethan, honey, she started, her voice dripping with fake concern. Your mother is so worried about you. She says you've been acting strangely. Are you okay? Is everything all right with Olivia? I knew exactly where this was going. My stomach clenched. Everything is fine, Aunt Carol, I said, trying to keep my voice even. Oh, honey, she sighed. Your mother told me about the incident at the engagement party, and about how you've been difficult with Bethany. You know, Bethany is such a sweet girl. She would never intentionally hurt anyone. You're being too sensitive, Ethan. You need to apologize to your sister, and to your mother. They're very upset. Are you kidding me? I wanted to scream. They've turned this whole thing around, made me the villain. They're telling everyone I'm the problem. I took a deep breath, trying to remain calm. Aunt Carol, I said, you weren't there, you don't know what happened. Oh, but I do, honey, she said, her voice sharp now. Your mother told me everything. She said you've been acting very erratic lately. She's worried about you. We're all worried about you. Worried? They're not worried about me. They're worried about their precious Bethany and the image of their perfect family. They're trying to isolate me, make me look crazy. And it's working. Some of our mutual friends have started to distance themselves. They're giving me these weird looks like they don't know what to believe. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Then, this morning, I woke up to a text from Bethany. A text. After everything, she has the audacity to text me. It said, Ethan, just apologize. Make this all go away, for Mom, for everyone, just apologize and we can forget this ever happened. Forget this ever happened. Like I can just erase the fact that she sabotaged my relationship. I'm so angry I can barely see straight. My hands are shaking again. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I feel like I'm trapped in a nightmare. This isn't going away. They're not going to stop. I need to do something. I need to fight back. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I can't let them win. I can't let them rewrite the narrative and make me the bad guy. I need to protect myself. I need to protect Olivia even though she's gone. I'm done being the peacekeeper. I was spiraling, completely spiraling. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Bethany's poison was seeping into everything and I felt powerless to stop it. I met David, my best man, for a drink. I needed to talk to someone, anyone who wasn't caught up in my family's twisted reality. I started hesitantly, recounting the engagement party toast, my confrontations with Bethany and my parents, the phone call with Aunt Carol, the text, the whole mess. I kept downplaying it, saying things like, I'm probably overreacting, and it's probably not as bad as it seems. I was so used to minimizing my own feelings, my own pain, that I couldn't even explain the situation without apologizing for it. David listened patiently, his brow furrowing deeper with every word. When I finally finished, he just stared at me, his mouth slightly open. Dude, he said, his voice low, are you kidding me? This is insane. This is some next-level manipulation. That was the first time I felt truly seen. Someone finally was acknowledging that I wasn't crazy, that my family was the problem, not me. Ethan, David continued, you've been gaslit your entire life. They've conditioned you to believe that you're overreacting, that you're too sensitive, that Bethany can do no wrong. But this is not normal. They're actively trying to sabotage your happiness. And you know what? It's working. Hearing him say that out loud, it was like a punch to the gut. It was the truth, the ugly, painful truth that I had been trying to ignore. You're the peacekeeper, David said, and they've weaponized that against you. They know you'll do anything to avoid conflict, and they're exploiting it. They're using you as a human shield to protect Bethany from ever having to face the consequences of her actions. Human shield. That's exactly what I was. A shield for Bethany's ego, for my family's dysfunction, and I was breaking. You need to stop, David said, his voice firm. You need to stop protecting them. You need to start protecting yourself. I started to cry, silent tears streaming down my face. I felt a wave of relief. Sadness, anger, it was a cocktail of emotions, all swirling together. But underneath it all, I felt a flicker of something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Maybe, just maybe, I could break free from this toxic cycle. Maybe I could finally start living my own life for myself. That conversation with David was a turning point. It was the first crack in the wall of denial I had built around my family. It was the first step towards reclaiming my own life, and it was terrifying. But I knew deep down that I couldn't go back. I couldn't keep being the peacekeeper. I had to fight back. I was numb. After talking to David, I thought I was ready for anything. I was wrong. The final straw, the one that snapped whatever remaining thread of loyalty I had to my family, came a few days later. I was at work trying to focus, trying to pretend everything was normal when I got a call from Olivia's mom. Her voice was shaky, hesitant. Ethan, she started. I don't know how to say this, but Olivia called off the wedding. My blood ran cold. What? I whispered, my voice barely audible. What are you talking about? She said she can't do it. Olivia's mom continued, her voice cracking. She said she doesn't trust you. That she thinks you're hiding something from her. Hiding something? From her? I felt a surge of nausea so intense I thought I might throw up. But that's not true, I stammered. I haven't hidden anything from her, it's Bethany, she's been lying about me. Olivia's mom was silent for a moment. Ethan, she said softly. Olivia said she heard things. From other people. About your past relationships. About how you're controlling. Controlling? That was Bethany's word. The word she used to describe me whenever I tried to stand up to her. The word she used to manipulate our parents, to make them think I was the problem. Bethany had poisoned everything. She had turned Olivia against me, turned our friends against me, turned my own family against me. In that moment, something inside me broke. It wasn't just sadness, it was rage. White-hot, blinding rage. I felt it in my chest, a burning pressure that made it hard to breathe. My hands clenched into fists, my knuckles turning white. I wanted to scream, to break something, to hurt someone. But all I could do was stand there, phone pressed to my ear, listening to the sound of Olivia's mom's quiet sobs. The world around me seemed to fade away. All I could see was Bethany's smug face, her triumphant smile. I saw my parents, their averted gazes, their silent complicity. I saw myself, the pathetic peacekeeper, the fool who had sacrificed his own happiness for the sake of a family that didn't deserve it. And then the rage subsided. It was replaced by a cold, hard resolve. I was done. Done. I was done being the victim. I was done protecting them. I was done sacrificing myself for their dysfunctional dynamic. I hung up the phone, my hand trembling. I knew what I had to do. I had to confront them, all of them. I had to expose Bethany's lies, her manipulation, her toxic behavior. I had to make them see what they had done, even if it meant burning everything to the ground. I took a deep breath, the cold air filling my lungs. It was time for war. All right, Reddit, buckle up. This isn't a rant, this is a war plan. My family, specifically my sister Bethany, has destroyed my relationship with Olivia. Now I'm taking my life back. I'm done being Mr. Nice Guy. Time for some scorched earth. First, I needed hard evidence. Bethany's a master manipulator, so she said wouldn't cut it. I started documenting everything. Every snide comment, every whispered lie, every instance of gaslighting. I even started recording conversations with my family, just on my phone, hidden in my pocket. I know it feels shady, but I needed proof. This wasn't just about winning an argument, it was about exposing a pattern of abuse. Next, strategy. I knew going in guns blazing wouldn't work. They'd just dismiss me as overreacting again. So I decided to play it cool. I drafted a script, outlining everything Bethany had done, from the engagement party toast to the rumors she spread about me. I practiced it over and over, focusing on staying calm and collected, presenting the facts logically and unemotionally. The goal wasn't to yell and scream, it was to dismantle her lies with cold, hard truth. Support system. I talked to David, my best man, and he was a rock. He helped me refine my script, practice my delivery, and most importantly, reminded me of my worth. He also agreed to be there during the confrontation, as a witness and moral support. Having him there would make it harder for my family to gaslight me and pretend this was all in my head. Absolutely crucial. Finally, mental preparation. This was the hardest part. I had to accept that this confrontation could permanently change my relationship with my family. They might disown me. They might double down on their denial. I had to be prepared for the worst. I spent hours visualizing the confrontation, preparing myself for every possible reaction. I meditated, I journaled, I even talked to a therapist to help me manage my anxiety and develop coping mechanisms. This wasn't just about winning a battle, it was about reclaiming my life. I was steeling myself for the fallout, whatever that might be. I scheduled a family meeting at my parents' house. I knew this was it. This was my chance to finally break free. I was terrified, but I was also strangely calm. I had a plan, I had evidence, I had support, I had prepared myself for the worst, and I was ready, bring it on. Okay, so the family meeting. It was at my parents' house, Sunday afternoon. Everyone was there, Mom, Dad, Bethany, and me. David was waiting in the car, ready to come in if I needed him. The atmosphere was thick with tension, you could cut it with a knife. My palms were sweating, but I took a deep breath and started. I called this meeting because we need to talk about Bethany, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. My mom immediately started with the "Oh, Ethan, can't we just have a nice Sunday dinner?" routine. I cut her off. "No, Mom, this is important. This is about the damage Bethany has done to my life." Bethany scoffed. "Drama queen," she muttered under her breath. I ignored her and continued. "Bethany, you intentionally sabotaged my relationship with Olivia. You made that toast at the engagement party knowing exactly what you were doing. You planted seeds of doubt in Olivia's mind, and then you watered them with lies." "Lies?" Bethany shrieked. "I didn't lie about anything." "Oh, really?" I said, pulling out my phone. "Then explain this." I played the recording of her talking to one of our mutual friends, casually mentioning my commitment issues, and how Olivia was naive to think I would ever settle down. Bethany's face went white. My parents exchanged uneasy glances. I continued, laying out all the evidence I had gathered. The recordings, the text messages, the eyewitness accounts from friends who had witnessed her manipulative behavior. I detailed how she had spread rumors about me, how she had twisted my words, how she had systematically undermined my happiness. With each piece of evidence, Bethany's composure crumbled. My parents shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their faces a mixture of shock and shame. The turning point came when I addressed my parents directly. "You," I said, my voice rising, "you have enabled this behavior for years. You've turned a blind eye to Bethany's manipulation, you've excused her cruelty, you've made me the scapegoat for her toxic actions. And you know what? That stops now." My dad started to protest, but I cut him off. "No, I'm done being the peacekeeper. I'm done cleaning up Bethany's messes. I'm done sacrificing my own happiness for the sake of this dysfunctional family." Bethany burst into tears. "I was just trying to protect you," she sobbed. "I didn't want you to get hurt." I laughed, a harsh, bitter laugh. "Protect me by destroying my relationship, by spreading lies about me. That's not protection, Bethany, that's sabotage. You were jealous. You couldn't stand the thought of me being happy." That's when it hit them, the look on their faces, it was priceless. The realization that I wasn't going to back down, that I wasn't going to be silenced anymore. The power dynamic had shifted. They were panicked. I stood up, my legs no longer trembling. "I'm leaving," I said, my voice calm and steady. "I don't know if I'll ever be back, but I know one thing, I'm finally free." I walked out, leaving them sitting there in stunned silence. David was waiting for me in the car. I got in and we drove away. I didn't look back, it was over, I was finally free. It's been 6 months since that explosion at my parents' house. The fallout has been messy, to say the least. Immediately after, Bethany went into full-blown victim mode, telling everyone I was a monster who attacked her. My parents, predictably, bought it hook, line, and sinker. I got a barrage of texts and voicemails, accusing me of being ungrateful, disrespectful, and mentally unstable. They demanded an apology. I didn't give them one. The resolution, if you can even call it that, has been a slow, painful process. There's been no grand reconciliation, no tearful apologies, no sudden understanding. My parents are still firmly in Bethany's camp, minimizing her actions and blaming me for causing a rift in the family. I've gone low contact with them, only communicating for essential things. It's been hard but necessary. I can't subject myself to their toxicity anymore. Mixed outcomes are the name of the game here. On the positive side, I'm free. I'm no longer the family peacekeeper, constantly walking on eggshells and absorbing everyone else's emotional baggage. I've started therapy, which has been incredibly helpful in processing everything and rebuilding my self-esteem. I've reconnected with old friends, and I'm focusing on building healthy relationships based on mutual respect and support. David has been my rock throughout all of this. He stood by me, validated my experiences, and reminded me of my worth when I felt like I was losing my mind. I'm eternally grateful for his friendship. The ongoing challenges, however, are still significant. The grief of losing Olivia is something I still grapple with. It's a slow healing process. I miss her terribly, and the knowledge that Bethany played a direct role in our breakup still stings. The estrangement from my family is also a constant ache. I know I made the right decision for my own well-being, but it doesn't make the loss any less painful. I still have moments of doubt, moments where I wonder if I should have just apologized and gone back to the way things were. But then I remember the suffocating feeling of being trapped in that toxic dynamic, and I know I can never go back. Never. I've learned a lot about myself through this experience. I've learned that my worth isn't determined by my family's approval. I've learned that setting boundaries is not selfish, it's essential. And most importantly, I've learned that I deserve to be happy. I'm not responsible for other people's happiness, especially not at the expense of my own. So, Reddit, what do you think? Have you ever had to cut ties with toxic family members? How did you handle it? Any advice for navigating this messy, complicated terrain? I'm still figuring things out, one day at a time. Any words of wisdom are appreciated.